Yes. Hello and welcome to Usual Paddy. I am Pet Shop Man and I am joined by an incredibly special guest that's flown all the way over here just to be here today.
All the way.
All the way. This is Emma.
Hello, everyone.
And Emma, if people can't have already guessed, where are you from?
Australia.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've come a long way just to be here today.
2 flights, a hurricane, an earthquake.
A weak hurricane.
A weak hurricane.
There were no flying boats.
No. It was a weak hurricane by Australian standards, but it was catastrophic to America.
That's because America's America. They're like, America is best and we get the worst of everything, but the bald eagle will save us.
Bald eagle is a glorified seagull.
Ooh, getting straight into the edgy comments.
Well, I've had half a gin and... So,
half a gin and already I'm getting riled up.
Yeah, I said what I said and I mean it.
The thing with bald eagles for me is that people see it as like a sign of freedom, but the birds themselves do have a hierarchy system, and the elders will fend off and steal food from the young.
Oh.
And it's like freedom?
America.
But what's more free than America is Australia.
Well,
I mean, it's very...
We're as free as we can get.
I mean, everyone's
Thanks,
as free
England.
as they can get. Oh, here we go. Already England bashing.
That's right.
Is it?
I come here. I like it here. It feels like home.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very similar, really. We're a bit warmer.
A bit. Depending on where you are, apparently.
Depending where you are.
Yeah.
Canberra is cold.
Yeah.
Canberra's very.
And you are from Canberra.
I am from Canberra. I am from the capital.
The capital city that does not have an international airport.
No. Well, no. They have like kind of an international airport. Oh, that's loud.
Oh, sorry. I might be tweaking the wrong thing here.
But they don't really fly out of it at all. It's domestic flights to Melbourne or Sydney.
Oh.
And then you fly out of the big cities. The big cities.
From the main city that you can't fly to directly.
Our politicians don't even live in Canberra. They live in Sydney.
Yeah. Well, half of our local council don't even live in Scarborough, I don't think.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's a worldwide thing, I suppose.
But Sydney is kind of dirty, so...
Oh, dirty Sydney.
Bit dirty.
You've obviously been to Sydney a few times.
I used to live there.
Have you been on the walk over the bridge? You know, where you go over the arch?
I have never walked over the arch, but one New Year's, we were staying at my friend's house on the other side of the bridge, and we drunkenly walked across the bridge.
It's a good job you didn't drunkenly walk over the arch of it.
You're not allowed to. They've got gates up, so you can't get onto it and over. And it's all locked down because they don't want drunken Australians going over it.
Could that be just any Australian? So there'll be so many stereotypes coming in.
I am
here.
okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with
that.
that.
Oh, good.
I'm not afraid of the...
Well, here's the first one.
Oh, go on then.
You have kids.
Yes.
And they've not been eaten by dingoes.
No, my children have not been.
At what age do kids stop getting eaten by dingoes?
Ooh.
I suppose when they become a toddler, because the whole thing is a dingo ate my baby.
Yeah.
So
I think mine are safe. They're 4 and 7, so I think they're safe.
Okay.
They've passed the dingo stage.
They now punch them dingoes, because Aussies love to punch an animal.
They do. Actually,
They punch sharks. They punch kangaroos. I've seen the videos.
we do actually.
Just fight the local wild. No wonder they're all pissed off and try and like kill people.
We have to defend ourselves. We don't have guns. We don't have anything. We've got... No, I'm not going to go there.
Slingshots.
Yes, okay, slingshots.
Everyone has slingshots.
We've got slingshots.
It's still a thing.
We have our fists. We're going to fisticuffs with...
Again, typical Aussies. Just trying to start a bar fight. with an animal.
With an animal.
I see that kangaroo over there. I'm gonna punch it. It's got my dog in a headlock. I'm gonna punch that shit.
I mean, if a kangaroo attacked my dog, I probably would try and hit it.
I hope someone's around to film it because I'd
hope so
love to
too.
see that. Just
Rory would not do well.
like the world of like, another Aussie beating up a kangaroo. I just like
Rory
how
needs saving. He
that-
eats crayons.
please tell the crayon
I will.
story.
So I have a Cocker Spaniel. He's a bit daft. He likes to eat carrots. And one night I got up because I could hear him crunching on something, and I walk out and I flick the light on, and he's in his bed eating an orange crayon, just nomming on it. And I was just like, you're stupid. And from then on, we started calling him Ralph. As in Ralph Wiggum.
Oh, little special needs spaniel.
He is. He's very smart, and he can...
Does a smart dog eat an orange crayon? I mean, I suppose it does because it's an orange crayon like a carrot.
He could have picked any crayon. I went into the other room. There was every crayon on the floor. He could have picked any one, but he picked the carrot crayon. And
so great.
He's calculated. Like, he waits for you to go to bed before he does shit.
I mean, I think a lot of dogs do that. So, when the owner's away, the dog will play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they know they're doing something wrong.
They do.
That's like when you see the videos and like a dog's like destroyed a bed or a sofa or something, and the owner comes home and the dog's just sat there with its head down because it knows it's done wrong, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
if you were a kangaroo, I'd punch you so hard right now.
If I come home and Rory's on one of the beds and he doesn't greet me at the door, I'm like, right, I know my kitchen is full of trash then. Like, he has gone into the lidded bin and pulled it out.
Right, yeah. The guilt thing.
The guilt thing. I was going to quickly jump back to dingoes real quick. Currently, there is an island in Australia where the dingoes have been very ballsy, and they are like attacking...
Eating babies.
Not eating babies, but they're like attacking the campers. And when you go and camp there...
The skipping the baby stage, like, bring me an adult, I'm going to take him on.
Recently, actually, and it didn't get a lot of media, a dingo broke into someone's camper van.
Did it like Jimmy the Lock?
I don't know how it got in there, but like the dad woke up to screaming and clattering, and the dingo had got into their camper van, grabbed hold of their child, like their 4-year-old
Eating a baby.
4-year-old child's head, and was dragging it out. And the dad like ran after it and...
Well, good. He was like, well, that's my boy going. They grow up so fast.
Sure
leaving home.
I'm pretty sure he hit it. He hit it.
Of course. They're Australian.
Oh, gosh, hit the animal.
Push it.
We don't. We really do love our animals. But everyone who
It's a
goes
love
to this
punch.
camp...
That's what all domestic abuse people say.
No.
Yeah, we've gone there.
We've gone there. Everyone who goes to these campsites get issued a dingo stick.
Is it just a stick?
It is a piece of red, like PVC pipe.
Oh.
And I watched like a news thing of
Is it about? Can you? Does it double as a cheap didgeridoo?
No, it's better than that.
Oh wow!
So the reporter's standing there. She's just like, these are the sticks because the dingoes are attacking the campers. They're getting into things. We're training the dingoes with the people with the sticks are not to be messed with. And in the background there is like a bunch of Australian boys using the sticks as like luges. Like,
okay.
pouring beer down one end of it and just shotgunning it in the other end. In the back, this is like national news.
I mean,
And there's just Australians.
it's just Australia.
Shotgunning beers down a red pipe.
Yeah, but it's already in your hand for if a dingo comes.
Pretty
You
much.
could just like
Beer.
poof.
And then like
Is that, there's a dingo coming, you better chug that quick.
Jedi
Mate.
sword it around like a lightsaber. Just
Jedi sword it around.
oh, sorry.
I mean, has this... Here's an Australian thing. Has this been reported? Because I won't believe it until it's been reported on a current affair.
I think it was a current affair. 60
was it?
Minutes
I don't know.
with Tracy
This is
Grimshaw.
like I'll be scrolling through like videos in the Facebook video section, and some reason I get a lot of a current affair like things come up, so I'll like watch it, like, oh, this person's selling dodgy handbags apparently.
I don't watch normal television at all, but one to watch is Sunrise, because it is so funny. There's like the guys on it are hilarious, and they say them. After this I'll bring up some clips, but they'll like say something and it comes across as like an innuendo or something, and this is 6 o'clock in the morning TV.
It's when you want your innuendos.
They'll say something and then it's just everyone around the table is just like looking and bursts out laughing.
Yeah, so that's good TV. That's the kind of TV I'd do.
So go look up The Morning Show in Australia and all the funny things that happen on that show.
Yeah, I'll bear that in mind. I will.
I can hear a train siren.
Yeah, train's about to come now.
And the window is going to shake.
Everything will shake. Well, depending on if it's an ingoing train or an outgoing train,
Oh,
will make...
different degree of shake.
It depends on which side of the tracks it's on.
Oh, that was a quiet
Well, that's
one.
not too bad.
That was a quiet one.
Yeah, sometimes, especially if they're long trains, it really makes the house rumble.
Yeah.
So, you punch dingoes and hit them with Jedi swords.
I'm never going to live that down.
And I mean, you're playing up your country. But the joke of dingoes eating babies is kind of sort of true. So much so that you have to beat them with shotgunning sticks.
Shotgun and sticks, yeah. Go down to Bunnings and get a piece of PVC
See,
pipe.
that's such an Australian thing. Bunnings.
I'm putting on the Australian.
Good, because you're Australian.
Yeah, but like sometimes I don't talk like the super like ochre way. Like, yeah, go down to Bunnings, get a PVC pipe, just use it as a like a bucket bong.
A bucket bong?
Do you know what bucket bongs are?
No.
Oh, it's
like a
children
beer
listen to
bong.
this? Yeah.
I don't think anyone listens to this. I think it'd be fine.
To it before. Yeah, it's like a beer bong, but like with a bucket and a
Genius.
and a tube. Down it goes.
I suppose they make a hole in the bottom of the bucket
Yeah,
and put the tube. Yeah. That is super straightforward.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
My high school history teacher taught us about those.
See, did tell you about the history of
He taught us about a
beer
lot of
bongs,
things. But someone
bucket
asked,
bongs?
bucket bongs. Yeah, someone asked him. He was just like, "What's a bucket bong, sir?" And he was
Say,
like,
bring me that bucket over there. I'll show. Grabs a 4X out the bottom drawer.
for you. Okay, 4X. Yeah, better than
4X used to be sold over here,
really.
and it disappeared. And I've bought it before. There's like some like foreign beer shops online. So when I want a special treat, like we did like an Australian themed episode once for like Australia Day, and I got some 4X
Invasion
in,
Day.
and that me and Martin drank. Jamie's a lightweight and drinks a fruit shoot, so I had to get him some Australian cider. I can't remember what it was
What's
called
a fruit
now.
shoot?
A fruit shoot is just kind of like a kid's cordial juice that you'll pick up in a shop for like
a
pack up
popper?
lunches.
We call them poppers.
Popper over here, poppers are what people have in nightclubs when they're at raves.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't give those to kids.
Give those to kids.
I won't bring your kids over here and say, have you got any poppers? I want to give my kids poppers.
I've heard pills being called.
I mean, there's some
before.
dodgy pubs in town. Like, if you ask for poppers, they'll be like, see me in the back.
Yeah, a juice popper. It's just
I guess.
a box of juice with a straw.
No, it comes with like a sports cap, usually.
Oh, yeah.
But
It's just a kid's juice.
Yeah, it's just kids' juice.
Yeah.
So, me and Matt like to take. I mean, Jamie will be listening to this and I'll be fuming because he can't defend himself because no one's listening to him. As we talk
Sorry,
about
I took your
his
place
fruit
tonight.
shoot ciders. So yeah, I mean,
Was it an Australian cider?
yes.
Oh,
I had to make it a point of being like an Australian thing. They're limited to what they sell, like on this website. So I just like found a cider.
Batlow apple cider or something.
It was an apple cider. I don't think it was. It wasn't that one.
Batlow's near where I live.
Okay.
It's like 3 hours away.
So you can tell you live in Australia. So, oh, it's near where I live. It's 3 hours away. Like if I drove 3 hours, I'd be in Edinburgh.
You would.
For where, like being in Scarborough is great because you're kind of like in the middle of the country. Like if I drive 4 hours up there, I'll be in Glasgow. If I drive 4 hours down, I'm practically in London.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like near everything.
If I drive 4 hours from my house, I'm in Sydney. And if I drive 4 hours in the opposite direction from my house, I'm in Victoria.
So that's cool. It's cool.
Albury Wodonga. That's about 4 hours from my house.
See, that's it. I mean, I love Australian town names. Wollongong.
Wollongong.
Sorry. Wollongong.
Wagga Wagga.
Yeah.
There is a street in my hometown of Barrel called Bong Bong Street.
Bong Bong Street.
Yeah, Bong Bong Street.
We have there's a village like half an hour from here, and they've got a street called Dead Lane.
Dead Lane.
Dead Lane. It's like quite like to live on Dead Lane.
Dead set. That's pretty great.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few good things. There's Butt Lane.
Oh well,
There's BUTT.
I used to work on Iron Knob Street.
I see you Australians, because you live in Canberra and you know what's there.
And
the penis owl.
Oh, the penis owl. Belconnen's claim to fame, the penis owl.
Yeah.
Belconnen has a lot of other things as well. Like, where I work, there's a spaceship.
Yes.
I showed you photos of
Yeah.
it, and it's been converted into a classroom.
See, we don't get that here. We don't get spaceship classrooms. We get porta cabins, and like even when I was at school, it still happens these days. Like they have the main school building, they have like the porta cabin classrooms, and every time we've been at school and everyone will relate, all the teachers say, "Oh, they're just temporary." Well, they're sorting the classrooms out,
forever.
and they're still there to this day. It's like it's a really long temporary.
Here's a difference in the language. Porta cabins in Australia are called demountables.
Demountables.
Yes.
Isn't that what you do with a horse? You mount a horse and you demount a horse.
Yeah, but you don't demountable a horse.
I don't know. A horse is demountable.
Yes, a horse is demountable. You would. But
I mean,
porta cabins are called demountables.
everyone calls them a porta cabin, but I think porta cabin is an actual brand here.
Oh.
So they're probably just called something really boring, like mobile office.
The mobile office.
So maybe a demountable. Maybe that's a collective term for the non-brand version.
Maybe.
It's like
the Australian.
It's like hot tubs. Like people over here call them jacuzzis, but jacuzzi's the brand. And Hoover is a brand, but it's a vacuum cleaner.
I was just about to bring that one up. So my mum and my nana and all my mum's side of the family are Scottish, and I was brought up in a very kind of Scottish household. So they were just like things that I didn't know were called other things. Hoovers, I just always thought that was what they were called. And
yeah,
me being an Australian kid going to school and being like, the Hoover, they're like, what?
I mean, you're Australian, so you'd be called, oh yeah, the sucker or something, without it sounding dodgy.
The vac.
The vac. Vax is a brand. We have like a brand of who are called.
A vac. Oh, there you go.
We have a brand of vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Called a Vax.
Oh, VAX.
VAX,
I think
yeah.
I've seen those before. But a vacuum cleaner, we just call it the vac.
The vac. Vac attack.
I have a fancy vacuum cleaner that I can
Does
attach
it?
to my phone, and it tells me what it's sucking up.
Is that really necessary though? It's like, at what point does technology become like, is this necessary?
You know what? It makes
It's like,
me feel better.
My app tells me what I'm sucking up in my vacuum cleaner.
It's like,
half a dozen Legos and 10 crocodiles.
No, it's just cocker spaniel fur.
Yeah, dog hair,
Just dog hair. All of it's dog hair. Oh dear.
Funnel web spider.
I've only ever seen one of them in the wild.
It's because I live in funnels.
Well, they don't live where I am.
Is it because it's a Sydney funnel web spider?
Well, yeah,
So
but
they live in Sydney, I guess.
they do.
Right.
There are regionally there are other funnel webs, but when my parents built their house, they had dirt and sand.
It's Australia. There's dirt and sand everywhere.
There's dirt and sand in it, but they wanted specific dirt and sand. From
Your Hoover will tell you what it is.
It would. It would. Like, oh, the biometrics of this silica.
The microorganisms in the sand.
Ooh, it's silica and
Red sand.
not red sand. That's very far away from where I am.
In the never never.
I've never heard of it.
You've never heard it before.
Never. Never, ever, ever.
Can't believe I...
Forever.
Never, ever. I can't believe I had to tell an Australian what the never never was. Although anyone listening to this will be like, what's the never never?
Today you've weirdly had to tell me a lot of things that are Australian, and I'm like, I don't know if that's real or not.
And I've touched a didgeridoo and you haven't.
I've touched a didgeridoo. I've never played a didgeridoo.
I mean, I've blown it out. I hardly call it playing it.
But in Australia, women are not supposed to play. So I am just being culturally sensitive.
Okay, then maybe I shouldn't play it because I'm...
You're a man, though. Like, they're for men to play.
Yeah. Do I have to be Aboriginal? I'm sure I've seen a woman play it before on, like, YouTube.
Probably.
These days.
But, like, culturally sensitive people, like, should, like, respect those things. I don't know. I do know. Not that I don't know. I do know. But, look, a lot of those things are very sacred over there, and try and be as respectful as possible with the knowledge that I have. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you're fine to play one.
They'll say that and then they'll just hear me blow down it like I would do, like, a wrapping paper tube. I'm like, oh my god, he can't play this. Everyone's done that.
I do that.
Then they turn it into a Jedi sword and hit everyone with it. That's it now. It's going to be what it is.
Jedi sword. Every Christmas after I do the wrapping,
And you have to do the wujum noises.
we have fights with the empty cardboard tubes, and I win every time.
The trick is, like...
I'm, like, weirdly good. I'm the most uncoordinated person you'll ever meet, but I'm weirdly good at, like, sword wielding.
Sword wielding.
Like, I have ridden a horse
With a sword?
with a sword in a thunderstorm. Just cantering along.
That's the kind of thing you'd see as a painting for, like, someone on a Pegasus.
No, it would be
riding into battle.
The last ever image of Emma before she was awarded the Darwin Award. Metal rod in a thunderstorm on a fast-moving object.
So
while drunk.
Why? I'm not going to say why we're drunk because you're Australian, so it's like because it's the way we live. But why were you riding a horse in a thunderstorm, wielding a sword?
Because I grew up in the country, and country kids had to make fun somewhere.
Is this because you didn't have, like, a PVC tube to fight off the dingoes? To go riding into battle with your sword?
I mean, there is actually dingoes where I grew up, but they're in the mountains and you don't really see them.
Too busy eating babies.
Too busy eating the mountain babies.
Mountain babies.
I don't know.
The hill folk and the babies.
The hill folk. Oh, the hill folk. That, like, when I told you earlier on about them.
Yeah.
Oh.
That watcher.
The watcher. Okay.
So, time for story time.
Story time. So I grew up in a rainforest, and behind my parents' property is this river that runs through that connects to a waterfall. And like 20 meters past the back fence and then like a 5-minute walk down the stream is this beautiful gully with like a little waterfall and rocks and ferns that kind of like encapsulate the whole thing in a little canopy.
The stereotype of a rainforest.
Just imagine like verdant greenery.
I can't and want to be there. Maybe not right where that is.
No, yeah. I'd been there for a while. My brother and I used to go visit it. We called it the Fairy Glen. And one day I went out and I just felt really uncomfortable, and I was by myself, which I'd been out there by myself a lot. I used to like sit out there and just kind of play with the pebbles and just meditate, I guess, just no technology, just disconnect. And I felt really uncomfortable this time and I didn't know why. So I went home, and then the next day I went back out, and on the rock where I was sitting was a little doll made out of foil, and all the pebbles that I had been like stacking on top of one another had been covered in foil and stacked the same way. This isn't near anything, by the way. Like, there is no main roads near this little fairy glen. There is nothing. There's no neighbours. It's just
you and your rocks.
Me and my rocks and the ferns.
You're now silver rocks.
Silver rocks. And the lyrebirds and just the parrots. Just nothing out there.
I think it was just like a really smart parrot. Like,
that could
we're going to mess her up.
And wrap it around. Make a perfect...
Could be a magpie.
A magpie.
The crows are very intelligent.
I don't think that they can make a little figurine of a girl with long hair and a skirt on.
I mean, it's quite specific.
Very, very specific. Like, the outfit was the same
as what you were wearing?
As what I was wearing.
Oh, no, that is terrifying.
Yeah.
That bit I didn't know.
Oh, I left that. Yeah, it wasn't just like a
You left the ultimate creepy detail out.
It had like long hair. It had a little skirt on. It had like little boots that he'd made for it. I ran so fast out of that rainforest, and I have never been back.
I'm going to go. We're going to go. And there's going to be a whole community of little silver people.
My whole family.
Yeah. They might have like progressed to like the Iron Age now. They've gone past the Stone Age.
Stone Age. There's like little houses.
Yeah, of like little tinfoil skyscrapers.
They've completely made like a perfect replica of my parents' house with like, if you take the lid off, every single bedroom and like...
Again, that's some hereditary type shit right there.
We should write a story.
Oh, you should.
I should.
It'll be like some kind of Black Mirror. Have you seen Black Mirror?
I have. I've not watched
that's a
all...
British thing.
Is it?
Yeah, it was like wrote by a British comedian.
Oh,
I believe
it's not funny. It's a bit scary. Not scary.
That's
unnerving.
It's really good. Like, I've not seen the new series, and I've still not seen Bandersnatch. Was it? But I really liked
Bandersnatch. What is that?
There was like the special episode. It was released as like a one-off. It wasn't part of a season or something. It's an interactive one or something, I believe. I'm not quite sure because I've not watched it. But it's weird. Like, it's wrote by this British guy. A lot of it's filmed in the UK. There's some alright episodes, but there's some really smart episodes in there.
I've watched some of the first season, but I find it really hard to watch TV.
Right.
It's not an Australian thing, it's just a attention span thing.
Too many animals that need punching to worry about what's happening on Black Mirror.
I like to say that, like, you know, you don't really see things in Australia like animals, but There's a mob of kangaroos that literally lives at my work.
Yeah. See, again, we don't get that here. We
No.
get pigeons.
You got big pigeons.
Yeah,
Everything
the
here
wood
is.
pigeons.
I know that Australia has the big items, like the big banana, big
Yeah.
prawn. In like near my hometown, we've got the big
No shrimps.
spud. No shrimps. No shrimps.
No fucking shrimps.
Fucking shrimps. But like the birds here are massive.
Yeah, because you saw swans today.
First time I've ever seen a white swan. Our black
And you
swans are littler.
Kept like making a beeline to touch it as well. It's like
I touched
stereotypes says that shit breaks your arm, and you're there like I'm gonna touch that shit.
I'll take it on. When I was a kid, we'd go to the lake. I used to pick up the ducks, big like Muscovy ducks, and I would be like a 6-year-old underarm like football.
Kids have
hole.
no fear,
No,
especially I suppose if you're Australian, because you just.
I had an unnaturally like low amount of fear for my age. Like my other friends would be like, "Oh, we can't touch that," and I'd just be like, "Grab it,
Watch me.
watch me."
If it acts up, left up,
grab it by the neck.
swing it around.
I do love animals and I'd never hurt them, but like if it's in my way, I grab it. If it attacks me, I'm just like, I'm not afraid of you.
Wow.
Unless it was like I don't see crocodiles. There's no crocodiles where I live. They're up north, very far up north, which is
Too many violent people from
16-hour drive from where I live is where you'll find
16 hours. Like, I could probably drive all around the coastline of the UK in 16 hours.
You drove 16 hours, you'd be
I'd be back in Iceland, I think.
probably you'd be somewhere in Europe, just in the train across. Where was I going with this?
There's crocodiles up north.
Crocodiles up
That's
north.
as far as you got.
Backtrack a little bit further for me. Just rewind that back.
Crocodiles up north, punching
seen it.
animals.
Oh,
You'd never hurt an animal.
that's right. I was going to tell you earlier on about the school I went to.
Is this your cult school?
I went to a cult school, but it's not an Australian school. It like originated in Europe, and then
Whoa. This one isn't Britain's fault.
this one's
Surely.
not. No, it's Germany's fault.
Oh no. Australia's calling out Germany right now.
But I went to a school, it was a cult school. We had chickens, and if any birds got into our chicken coop, they used to call on me because I had no fear. They'd be like, there's a magpie in the chicken coop, and chickens are vicious.
And magpies aren't.
Not when a chicken is around. A chicken is a little T-Rex, and a magpie to a chicken is a Gallimimus, just
Okay.
little guy. A chicken will brutally murder a magpie.
Wow.
And I would just, like, they'd be like, Emma, go get the magpie. And I'd run in and just, like, pick up the bird, walk out, let it go. No fear of chickens. But all the kids, terrified of the chickens. And I was a year 1 student, so I was 7 or 8. No, 7 at best.
Wow.
Chicken. Goodbye.
So why was your school a cult?
So I went to a Rudolf Steiner school,
Right.
and they based their philosophy on learning by play and learning absolutely. There's another train.
There's a train coming.
Learning like through like. We didn't learn one religion. We learned all religions, but it heavily based a lot of its philosophies on like paganism. And we would have like winter solstice fire, like bonfires, and we would write our affirmations on little pieces of paper and hide them in a giant bonfire. And then we'd have a big like procession where like we handmade lanterns. That's a rattly train.
Yeah, that must be like an outgoing train, maybe.
You know the trains. We would like spend weeks beforehand hand making lanterns with wax paper and like dried leaves, and they were beautiful. And we would walk together in a line of students, and then we'd get to the big bonfire and someone would light it, and it was all about like releasing things that you'd held on to, or like putting positive affirmations into the world for things that you wanted for the future. And we'd drink soup and dance. And
Then did some people have to jump off a cliff and you wear a flower gown and...
no, but I later found out that there was a whole group of the mums from the school. Not my mum. Definitely not my mum. She was not involved in this. When there was full moons, they'd get naked and dance on the oval under the full moon.
Right.
Yep. So that was the thing that happened.
Drinking Kool-Aid or...
They were very against like drinking of any kind. We weren't allowed to eat chocolate at this school. We had this thing called carob, which is like...
Oh, see, cheap, in inverted commas, chocolate over here, like penny sweet kind of chocolate over here is generally carob.
Oh.
Because it's a cheap alternative to chocolate.
There you go.
Yeah, so, no, carob's a thing.
Well...
Not everyone knows it. People say, oh, chocolate mice. Yeah, it's going to be carob because chocolate itself, cocoa, is too expensive.
Yeah.
So, carob, yeah. No, yeah, I get it.
Most people think carob is disgusting, but because we had it as a kid, like my best friend and I, sometimes we go look for it just because it has a nostalgic taste.
Yeah, it reminds you of cult days.
Cult days.
With mums dancing naked around maypoles in the full moon.
And we learnt, the language we learnt at that school was German,
Right.
as you do,
Yeah.
from a German philosophy school. Another thing that we did was we would collect like horse and cow poo, put it in like a big like cow horn with water and bury it for 6 months. And then they would unearth the horn and they would stick like a leafy twig in the horn, and the teachers would flick it onto the trees, and they would be like, it's like I don't know the symbolism for it, but I just remember doing it where they would just like
shit flicking
on the trees, and it had to like symbolize something that was...
Did you learn normal things in the school? Like English and maths and colouring in?
Colouring in, yes.
Yeah, but do you like colouring burning witches at the stake or something?
No.
But...
We learn about lots of things, like lots of mythologies, and a lot of it had like colouring in to do with it. But to answer your question, no, I didn't learn. I learned how to plant gardens, and I learned how to knit, and I learned how to like love nature and love animals and just accept
Different
things.
school to my school. My school was normal.
I couldn't read for a very long time, so my parents took me out and put me in a normal school.
You couldn't read because you were too busy colouring in and knitting.
Pretty much.
So you couldn't read the small print of when you join this cult, you have to sacrifice a buffalo or whatever.
We don't have
water buffalo.
Yeah, somewhere like in the middle,
because
never,
Crocodile
never.
Dundee's out there going, making it fall asleep.
I've never seen those movies.
I mean, I grew up with. So here's a new tangent of Australian film, and I've always grown up with a love for Australia, even though I still have yet to go.
You'll have to come and visit.
I will. I'll hold you to that.
I'll take you to my very cold climate place. You'll be like, wow, it is not different.
England number 2.
Pretty much.
Slightly
That's
more
what they were
tropical
going
but cold.
England number 2.
And yeah, I sat and watched Crocodile Dundee and Crocodile Dundee 2, and I'd love watching them on VHS and things like that. And you watch them back now, and you're just like, oh, these aren't PC films. but they're still really good.
Maybe one day I'll watch them.
You should, but I mean, again, you're going it with different eyes. Like I
Yeah.
can watch back now and be like,
Nostalgia.
and you'll watch them back and going,
Ooh,
oh my god, like
that's not good.
these outback people are like very sexist people.
Oh. I mean, I've seen like the memeable stuff. I've seen the water buffalo thing.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
And the
I've tried it.
knife. That's
The
not a
knife
This
thing
is a
again. I've
knife.
explained on the podcast before. I've lived through a real experience of that where I've managed to go, that's not a knife, this is a knife, and although I'm like playing it cool in front of this person with a little pocket knife, in my head I'm like going, oh my god, I'm living a dream right now. I finally made my moment where I could go, that's not a knife, this is a knife.
Whereas in Australia, we meme
Knifey spoony. Essentially.
knifey spoony. That's not a spoon. It's a spoon. I've done that in real life before.
Now, I've heard before that there's been petitions to make Australian dollars into dollarydoos.
Oh.
Is this a thing?
It is, but a better one than dollarydoos that we're all on board with at the moment is dollar bucks, and that is
Dollar bucks.
dollar bucks, and we use
Dollarydoos sounds way better.
It does, but like Bluey is a real thing.
Oh, here we go.
And they call them dollar bucks in Bluey, and we love it.
Bluey.
Bluey is so good.
Not again.
You know
like
what?
Martin and Jamie, even on the podcast, like I don't have kids, but and then they do. And
I'm
they
gonna
randomly start talking about Bluey.
After this, I'm going to they're 7-minute episodes. I'm going to make you watch an episode of Bluey. I would put my kids to bed and Bluey would still be on, and I would forget that my children had already gone to bed. And I'd just be like, oh, it's been half an hour. I've watched 14 episodes. I've watched nearly a season of Bluey. But they're just
Binging Bluey.
binging Bluey. They're heartwarming and they have great like moral stories, and it's not rubbish television. The kids in the show really learn something from it. All the parents, and it is eye-opening as a parent to like watch cartoon dogs be better parents than you, and it kind of strikes.
Do they go around punching wildlife?
No, they don't. Bandit is like the best cartoon dad I've ever seen. I'm like, I wish I was as good as a parent as Bandit is. Oh. Jumping on the trampoline with his kids. My kids are like, can we jump on the trampoline? And I'm like, I'm so tired.
My hip is too bad.
But that's because I have a very real injury, and
is that from riding through the desert on a horse, wielding a sword in a thunderstorm?
Not from that one, but I had gone bush. Not what you called it?
A walkabout.
A walkabout. I'd never heard of a walkabout. I'd gone bush with my horse, and when I came back, my friend and I decided to swap horses, and her horse was a bit psycho and threw me. And
how long did you go bush for?
5 hours.
See, I thought it was going to be like Western thing where you'd go bush and you'd camp out for a few nights with your horse by the firelight and.
Never done anything like that. No, we just like ride the fire trails out to like a certain point and then turn around. I've been on all day going out, but where I was a part of a club. I know you're laughing because we're going to get to the other club that I'm already a part of.
The other cult.
The other cult. I was a part of a club called the Colo Vale Rough Riders, and we would show up.
Sounds like a bunch of bandits in the Wild West.
Well, it was very like Man from Snowy River. We would like show up at this guy's property, tack our horses up, and go out for like 10 hours just into the bush.
Yeah.
Turn around and come back.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I mean, 10 hours round trip would be 5
It
hours.
sounds good until you get on someone else's horse and it's like, absolutely not, get off.
Pretty much. And now I need to have surgery next year where they're going to replace a piece of my spine.
Horses, man.
Horses. And you know what?
This is a screw cap and not a cork.
If I
Say what?
could afford it and stop coming over to England, maybe I could have another horse. That's enough, thanks. Jeez.
I mean, there's nothing stopping you coming here. Again, you've got accommodation here.
Make the deal sweeter. Get a horse in your backyard.
I can't. There's pigeons. I'm
Really
scared that an
big
Australian
pigeons.
might come around and just punch this horse.
I didn't punch any birds today, but I did like let a swan bite me many times.
Many times. It's like, here's the trade-off. You can bite me, but I'm going to touch you afterwards.
I mean, Loki wanted it to go for me so I could just grab it. I had an excuse. And then I could be like, I'm hugging a swan.
Yeah, you didn't get quite... Like, you told me about your duck stealing as a child. I was half expecting you to, like, rugby tackle one of these swans. Oh, sorry. AFL one of these swans.
Sports.
Sports.
No.
Do you not even celebrate, like, your hometown teams or anything?
I don't, but people do. Like in Canberra, there's this thing that the team is called the Raiders, and they're like, oh, people are going to listen to this.
Sounds
They're
like the
from
British Museum. The Raiders.
The Raiders, raiding the world. No, I think they're
More like
Viking.
pillaging the world
Stealing,
of their artifacts. It's
having
like
things donated
British
to them.
Indiana Jones is like, I'm taking that.
You're coming home with me.
Yes.
The Raiders, I think they're Vikings. I think that's their symbol. Anyway, like when they're doing something, playing a game, there's a certain time of year where they play games, and everything is green. They dye the bread green in some shops. You can buy green milk, green coloured sausages.
Does your dog start eating green crayons?
No, he doesn't. He's colourblind.
But he still found an orange one.
I don't know why he found an orange one.
I mean, he's a spaniel, so he's still quite smart, but he's still quite Ralph Wiggum.
Yeah. Yes.
His cat's breath smells like cat food.
No, his breath does not smell like
His
cat
cat's
food.
breath,
His
so Oscar
Oscar, no, Rory's breath smells like cat poo.
and crayon.
And crayon. He's so gross. He's a beautiful dog, but he's so gross.
Yeah, he sounds like a real stunner. Like a real show winner.
I tuck him in like a little baby on the couch with his minky blanket.
I was going to say, so it's like your child, but you have
I
children.
have children, but I also call my dog my son, and I also call my cat my son. And,
Just a house full of sons.
oh man, I'm like a boy mum. Say it so disapprovingly. I love my kids.
I love my kids, but none of them are girls.
I
I
would
can't
like a
take them
different
to
flavour
cult
one day.
school. I have to take them to cult school so they can learn, like, making Blair Witch effigies and... Could the weird, like, tinfoil things just be like your former cult teacher saying, she's lost her way. I'll leave this
I've never
creepy
lost my
effigy
way.
of yourself made of tinfoil.
I still celebrate solstices and I light candles and I
Oh, so you still come away
do. And then I,
with cult vibes.
I go to, not Melbourne, I go to Tasmania and I go to the Huon Valley Midwinter Festival where we burn a giant effigy of a wicker man and pay homage to the gods.
Is there a man in The Wicker Man?
There's
like
no-
in the film The Wicker Man?
Unfortunately, there's no Nicolas Cage.
Unfortunately. Oh, God. Yeah.
No bees.
Anyone that's got a copy of the DVD must put this in the effigy of this Wicker Man.
No, but there's a man who's dressed like the Green Man.
Is that because of the sports thing? He is
No,
now
this
green like the bread.
This is Tasmania. Like the Green Man is like a pagan thing with he's got like oak leaves on his face. And we pay effigy to them, pay homage to the gods of the apple orchard. Sorry. I should probably like brush up on it better before I go again.
Yeah.
But it was really lovely, and we danced around like pagans and drank mead and glühwein, which mulled wine.
Sounds great.
It was really good and very warm, even though
Do you
it's
keep
winter.
your clothes on while dancing around in the moonlight?
We do.
Are you sure? Because you're a mum now.
I am a mum now. I'm
Like just waiting for that full moon. It's like, I am going to be dancing around with my maid in the buff. In the never, never.
never. 100% not doing that.
Is that because like a rogue emu might come along and try and savage you, so you have to punch it?
Emus are scary. Like, even for me, emus are scary.
They've got like really bendy necks. I reckon,
They're
like the
huge.
sports we were seeing in the bar last night, they'll be like, whoa, weaving out the way.
They are huge birds. And, like, people, like, cassowaries are scary birds as well. But
They've got killer feet.
killer feet. They're like little dinosaurs, but they're small. Small by big Australian birds.
It's because,
standard.
I mean, like, emus get quite tall because they kind of like arch their back up and raise their neck. Yet cassowaries are more of like a long boy than a tall boy.
Yeah, they are like
With the
are
killer feet.
built. They are built thick.
With 2 C's. They are thick,
Thick.
bro.
They are thick with 2 C's.
All the Americans now are listening. I'm like, oh yeah, she thick.
She thick. She thick. But she got dangerous
She's a
toenails.
thick bird, but them toenails need cutting.
Yeah, they're like 4'10" maybe. They're like
I'm still not going to go up to him and say, hey, you're short, bro.
you're short. They're short kings.
Yeah, he'll get his toenails out and be like, fuck you.
All the cassowaries,
Fuck you,
short
shit
kings
cunt.
and queens. I'm only 5'1", and those birds are shorter than me, and that's saying something. I'm always looking up at everyone.
Yeah,
But emus, they're tall.
yeah.
And I don't know, I think I'd be scared. It's more scared of an emu than a cassowary, probably. The smallness kind of just like,
But like cassowaries have blue heads, though.
yeah.
And it's like, he's more colourful than just like a brown emu.
I don't see them either. They're up in Queensland and they live...
What, emus are cassowaries?
Oh, cassowaries. Emus I've seen semi near my house. I've got a friend whose family lives in Hay. I told you about Hay.
Hey, yeah.
And the Hay Plains, from one side of like the horizon to the other, is dead flat. And they've got these emus out in the fields just occasionally driving along.
Emuing about.
Emuing
The
about.
emus are driving about.
The emus are driving about.
Jesus.
Emuing about.
Emuing about in their utes.
In their utes. You're very interested earlier on about utes. You're like, do you have a ute? I'm like, no. I have
You're
a...
Australian.
I have a...
You have utes.
Like some of
You
us
don't
have
even
utes.
have like something Australian. You're like, I have a humble Hyundai.
I have a Hyundai iX35 and her name is Wiggles
Wiggles.
because she's red and
you're
she's...
Australian.
And I'm Australian. And she's a toot toot chugga chugga big red car. Driving near and driving far. And
You have to drive far because you have to drive far to get anywhere in Australia.
Canberra, we complain about it. My friend, my best friend, had to move to Queensland for a short amount of time, which is a 14-hour drive away from my house, and it was horrible.
Just down the road.
Just down the road, no. It was horrible. I only got to visit her once in 18 months. It, like, ripped my
Because
heart
it's a
out.
14-hour drive, that's why.
Yeah. But now she lives back in Canberra, 25 minutes from my house. And she'll message me. She's like, why are you not on my couch? I'm like, it's 20 minutes away. It's so far.
Just never satisfied.
But in saying that, my dad's like, are you going to come visit me this weekend? I'm like, 2 hours drive? Yeah, okay. I went and picked up a cat for my friend, Sophie, my best friend, and she didn't know, and I hid it. I'm like, I'm going for a play date. I will see you like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm driving to the Southern Highlands to pick up a cat. So she
Pick up a regular old cat.
She had no idea about it. Just walked through a door with a cat. I should tell her the full story about it.
Yeah. You got to the cattery, gave it a punch, threw it in the car, drove it home.
No, but this is somewhat Australian. Her son comes out.
Did it do a shoey?
I did not do a shoey.
The poor cat did a shoey before the journey home.
No shoeys. No shoeys. The shoeys.
Have you done a shoey?
I have done a shoey once.
Do you keep the glass like in the shoe, or do you just pour the drink in the shoe and drink it out the shoe?
You pour the drink in the shoe.
I would not do that with any of my shoes.
not in my shoes. Not now. Like
I generally have like 2 pairs of shoes that I mainly wear, and neither of them, because of that, neither of them want to drink out. One's my work boot. I ain't drinking out of that.
I went to a bar in Canberra called the Phoenix, and I was wearing brand new heels.
Is it the Feetniks, because they all do shoes in there?
No, just the regular Phoenix.
Boring.
Just like the Firebird.
Yeah, that lame thing. I mean, that could just be any bird during a bushfire.
Oh, in Australia. Yeah.
All these chickens darting around on fire. Oh, look at the phoenixes.
Phoenix. Wouldn't you say like an eagle? We have wedge-tail eagles.
You do.
They're
the big fat boys that like eat roadkill and then can't take off properly and then get hit by trucks and burst everywhere.
Do they?
Oh my god. Apparently so.
I have never seen that, but I have seen a wedge-tail eagle take off from the road holding a dead wombat that it picked up.
And wombats are thick with 2 C's as well.
They are.
They thick.
Wombat will total your car.
Yeah.
And like
kind of like badgers here. Badgers, I mean, they're fat boys and they will total your car if you hit it wrong. I think that there's no real right way to hit one, I suppose.
No.
But yeah.
But I do love wombats. They're my favourite Australian animal.
With their cube poos.
With their cube poos that they put on top of things.
I know, it's so sweet that they kind of semi-clean up after themselves. Like, oh, gonna stack this like a Lego.
Pretty much. They're like, oh, this rock is just high enough for me to poop on.
So I'm not gonna shit on the floor like some kind of animal.
But they are my favourite, and that's why I brought you a toy wombat.
I know, and he's so cute.
It is really cute. It's a fluffy one.
He is.
But I'm going to do a course when I get home, and I'm going to be certified to look after baby wombats.
That's so cool.
Someone will ring me up at 3:00. I used to look after people who had babies, like real babies, human babies. And now I'm going to get...
That's boring. I'm sick of fighting dingoes off left, right and centre. So it's like, I'm done with this with my Jedi sword. I'm going to look after wombats instead.
My friends can never hear this. I'm sorry.
Tough.
They're just... In my group of friends, they love to use everything to make fun of me. They're just going to use it. They're going to be like, Emma,
good.
You're daft. Like, leave me alone.
Leave me alone. Whoozum.
Oh, no. What was I saying before?
You're looking after wombats.
Oh, I'm gonna look after wombats. 3:00 in the morning, they'll call me and be like, "Oh, we've got a baby wombat." I'm like, "Okay."
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Don't get that here. You'll have like squirrel watch or something around here.
I saw a squirrel when I was in
London.
London.
This is weird because you don't have squirrels over there.
Don't. Although my dad did drive the squirrel bus.
The squirrel bus.
But he couldn't say squirrel. He's just an Australian man, but he couldn't say squirrel. It's squirrel.
Does he have a thick Australian accent with 2 C's?
Not really.
No?
Not really. He
just can't say squirrel?
Just can't say squirrel.
Oh.
Just can't say squirrel. I won't make fun of my dad too much. He's an alright person. I was going to ask you some like Australianisms.
Yeah, go on then.
But I think you know sometimes I think more than I do. So
apparently so.
Apparently so. Like number 1 on the list is a cold one.
That's a beer.
Yeah.
Or necrophilia, the urge to crack open a cold one.
Exactly. That was a very Warwick joke.
Would get along.
You would. You know what Akadaka is, don't you?
AC/DC.
Yeah. An ankle biter. I think that's like a world.
They're like terriers.
No.
That's over here we call like little Jack Russells and like really small yappy dogs. We're like, ankle biters.
Oh. I thought you'd get that one. Ankle biters, yeah. We call like those little dogs like
It's rats.
rats. An ankle biter.
Punchable animals.
I don't hit animals. If I do,
You don't, but every other Australian seems to do. I've seen the videos.
What, like one video?
No, I saw the surfer punch a shark. Yes, he was being attacked, but he still punched an animal.
I'd punch a shark too, but I have a fear of water, so it probably wouldn't be anywhere
It's like
near
this
it.
little dead shark, and I'm gonna punch it.
Never.
Never. Well, see, there you go.
Never. God, I can't believe I'd never heard of that.
Mm.
An ankle biter is a kid, a child.
Oh, okay.
There are more uncouth names that we also call children, but
Little shits.
no, like crotch goblins.
Okay, that's a new one for me.
You've never heard of crotch goblins?
No.
Another one that you call kids is
If someone over here says, I've got crotch goblins, I'm like, the doctor will give you something for that.
another one I've heard of. People call their kids their sex trophies.
That's just disturbing.
Yeah, but ankle biter is a nice one.
Here is my evolved jizz.
Sentient.
my sentient jizz.
Arvo.
Afternoon.
Yeah. Bale.
Christian. Bale. Batman.
Do you want me to put it in a sentence?
What's the word? Sorry, bail.
Bail.
As in bail out?
Yeah, bail out. Like
Yeah, like jump out. It's like, if, like, for example, using a sentence or whatever, it's like, I'm driving a car, gotta bail out. And you open the door and jump out. That's bail out. Claw.
close, but no cigar.
Like, I've got to bail. Like, I gotta go.
Pretty much. Got to bail. Got to
Yeah.
go. Well, they didn't turn up.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, Davo bailed.
Yeah. We'll get to names because everyone's name apparently ends in an O. You must be like M-O.
No, I'm M-E.
M-E.
M-E. That's what they call them.
That's like a disease.
M-E.
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 Yeah.
Is it? Isn't that M-S?
Oh, yeah, it could be.
It could be. It could be. I don't know if this one is also Australian only or if it's kind of like derived from here. But another one is like...
I mean, it is English, so...
All of it. All of it. But when someone pikes...
Someone pipes.
Like, you're a pikey. But not the same term as like from the movie like Snatch. It's not like not that.
A slang term for gypsies.
No, Australia has their own like term for being a pikey,
Right.
which is same as bailing.
So, pikey's, like, leaving then? Or...
Yeah, it's like, someone didn't show up, they piked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, that's news to me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's another
Sort of
one that
thing.
we use.
Piking just, is...
Your face when I said
a-
that, I'm like, did I say
is a-
something wrong here?
Oh, no, it was just like, oh, okay, we're talking about pikeys now.
I'm well aware of like the
Slang term for the
the
travelling
gypsy.
community.
if I like in Australia, it would be like, Barry piked. He's
That sounds like Barry's dead. He piked.
no.
He OD'd. He piked last night.
He piked. No, it just means like someone didn't show up.
Oh, okay.
Didn't
Well,
wash
he
up.
still didn't. He still piked last night. He didn't show.
Piked.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. That's new to me.
Oh God, that got loud. When I read bailed, I'm like, I wonder if they have when someone piked that they're a pikey, which just means that they didn't show up or they didn't want to go to the place.
No, we don't have that. It's just like, oh, such and such didn't show up last night.
Huh.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what
quite
Barbie
boring.
is.
You what?
You know what a Barbie is.
Yeah, well, it's either a doll, a film, or a barbecue.
It's a barbecue. It's
Yeah.
always a barbecue.
No, we call them Barbies here as well occasionally.
Bathers. That's
Swimsuit.
yeah,
Yeah.
swimsuits. But like we've
A
also
bathing
got
suit.
bathing suit. We've also got like budgie smugglers.
Yeah, like everyone knows that's Australian, and we jokingly use the term here, but yeah, speedos.
Speedos.
Just like really tight swimming trunks.
They are gross.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we even see them down on the seafront down here in the heat of the summer. It's like, ooh.
With their moon tans.
Yeah.
Rocking their moon tans with their budgie. That's gross.
Yeah. There's a lot of gross people in the world.
That beach is very beautiful, but it looks deadly cold.
Yeah, again, it's the North Sea. It's cold.
It looks very cold.
It's nice and cool when it's very hot, but it's cold.
Do you know, like, beauty? The term beauty?
Well, personally, no.
When someone says, oh, beauty.
As in pretty?
No.
Oh, she's a beauty.
Oh, yeah, like, no, but it means great.
Well,
Yeah.
beautiful people are great.
But you could say it. Thank you. But you say, like, again, like, for anything, you'd be like, oh, yeah, she's a beauty. Like, a car.
You beauty.
Beauty.
Yeah.
She's a beauty. Like, a car, she's a beauty.
Yeah, we get that.
Yeah. A lot of these are
she's a beaut.
She's a beaut.
Beaut gets a lot as well.
A lot of these are very... Like, I read some of these this morning, and I was just like, I'm going to elaborate on some of these, because they're a bit boring. But you know what a billabong is, don't you?
Yeah, so that's like a small river, stream.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody oath.
Bloody oath.
Yeah.
Bloody oath.
Ah, these ones are like... I thought this one's a very
Bloody
popular
oath.
one.
No, I mean, we use the term bloody here for like, oh, bloody hell. Something like that.
Bloody
I've
oath.
forgotten something like, oh, bloody hell.
Bloody oath.
Is that the same kind of thing?
No, bloody hell is just like... we use bloody hell, but that's like an exclamation of like something's terrible. Like, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Bloody oath, though, is like the opposite. It's like yes, it's true.
Oh.
Like, or like, you're agreeing with someone. Like, oh yeah, mate, a bloody oath.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's new to me.
Do you know? I assume you'd have this one here, like bludgers.
Bludgers. No, all I can think about is Harry Potter.
I know. Oh,
My mind's just gone there. Like, last time Robin was here, we went for coffee, and I was like, oh, what do you want? And she read the sign wrong, and instead of like, say, I'm thinking about what she said, and I can't say the actual word. It's like,
is it
a
bad?
frappuccino. So there was like some cold brew frappuccino, but she was going to the loo, I was going to order, and she said to me, I'll have the flappuccino. And that's the only word I could think about. I said, I can't order this because the only word I can think about is flappuccino, and I don't want to go to the store. I was like, I'll have a flappuccino or a floppuccino. It was one of the two, and that's the only word I could think about.
There is an Australian comedian on TikTok, and she quite often says that, and it's very funny. You should
It is.
also look up that. So you don't know what a bludger is?
No, all I can think about is Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. When I was in London last week, we went to this like naval museum, and down in the depths of it, there was an old bowling alley, and they had like these giant wooden bowling balls like strapped down with chains. And I just turned to my mum and I'm like,
It's bludger.
it's a bludger. and quaffles.
Yeah.
And she just looked at them and she just like rolled her eyes and she's like, yeah. A bludger is someone who's lazy.
Oh, right.
Yeah, someone who's just like lazy, relies on other people.
Yeah, it's just
Bludgeon.
like, yeah. They're just like lazy people here. Or couch potatoes.
Couch potatoes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a lazy person.
Lazy people.
You know what a bogan is, don't you?
Yeah, like hooligan, youth, boy racer type.
Boy racer, I like that. It reminds me of pod racers. Of
What?
boy racer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but no.
Rednecky kind of bogan.
Yeah,
Which is, I mean, there's bogans where I live, but
bogans everywhere.
bogans
There's
everywhere.
bogans here, but they're generally not like redneck types because we don't have redneck types
No.
around here. We just have dodgy people.
Like the person we spoke to today.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh my God.
He went right off on one. There he was outside. We were looking at a menu saying, do we want to eat here? And there's some drunk guys smoking a pipe. And,
Tapping it out.
like, yeah, he was going on about how he'd went down to Bar Street to the tobacco place and he spent £20 on this pipe. And he can take, like, a few hits off it. And it's like, whoa. And then it's like,
So
oh,
there's nothing
yeah,
bad in it.
he's just like a drunk man just been like chatting stuff. And then it was like then like the tone change when it's like, oh, because I'll get nicked again. I was like, sorry, what?
And I got hit in the head with a machete.
She said some guy came at me with a machete and I nutted him and he lost some of his teeth and just like, I'm from Sheffield, I don't give a shit. And then I like looked at his t-shirt and he's one of these kind of like British and proud or like English and proud kind of thing. So it's like, oh no, he's like one of these like extremists kind of people. Like, oh no, what have we got into a conversation with right here?
We tried to get away so
Yeah,
fast,
so like back in the days,
politely,
like,
though.
I have a good time. So, oh, I don't care like where people are from and stuff like that. Like you're fine with me. Like you guys are good people and stuff like that. And we
He's
try
like,
to
I
walk
look
away,
like
and
Mr.
he like starts.
Bean, and then he made a Mr. Bean face,
Yeah, he
and
made
I
like
made the
weird
mistake of
comical
giggling.
face.
And he was like, "You agree?" And I'm just like, "I don't know, man. I don't know what's happening here."
It's just because he was stood there with a pipe and trying to be polite and said, "Oh, you look like Sherlock Holmes with that pipe." And said, "Oh,
Really? You think so? I was like, "Yeah, put the hat on."
yeah." And there's like, "Oh, well, people say I look like Mr. Bean," and then he pulls a face. I'm like, I don't even want to eat here now, and I just want to be away from this drunk man that wants to nut unfriendly people. It's like we're gonna
Talking
go.
about genders and like asking us what people are called, and we're just like, "Oh man, please just be nice to us." And
Yeah.
then he said something about sorry for making fun of you, and I'm just like, "What?" And he goes, "I wasn't doing it." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, your earrings or something, but at no point did he
Mention
mention anything that you like your earrings or anything. It was like,
I have crocheted sunflower earrings on, by
it's
the
like,
way.
this man is weird. Time to go.
Pretty much.
Just from Sheffield, so
Where's
that's
that?
like. So it's a northern town city. It was big back in the day for doing a lot of steel work before cheap Chinese steel was instead shipped over. Sean Bean comes from Sheffield.
Does
Yeah. And this man was definitely not Sean Bean.
He was rough like Sean Bean, though, with the movies.
It's just like, it's still Yorkshire kind of
Yeah.
thing, but yeah, it's welcome to meeting the locals.
It's all right. You'll come to Australia, you'll meet Australian locals, and
Bogans.
same, but different.
Yeah.
The amount of like uncomfortable pub conversations I've had with drunk Australian men, and you're just like,
Yeah, that's it. Just nod and agree.
smile and wave, boys, smile
Yeah,
and wave.
smile and wave.
And that, my friends, is the end of part 1. We talked for about 5 hours, and obviously I'm not going to do a 5-hour long episode, so it'll be about 3 parts. So join us next time, where we'll pick up with more Guess the Aussie slang, I suppose.